Xbox just pulled off something absolutely huge. They announced it at GDC. GDC is happening right now, and it's huge. That over 1,000 games now work seamlessly across Xbox, PC, and Play Anywhere. Let me restate that. Over 1,000 games, Xbox says, now work seamlessly across Xbox and PC with Play Anywhere. For those of you that don't know what Play Anywhere is, it's when you buy one game, you can literally play it anywhere. Right now, that's Xbox and PC. When a gaming handheld comes, that means you'll also be able to play it on an Xbox handheld. I think this is absolutely huge. I don't even think this is the biggest part of the story, though. I think the much more interesting and important part is Xbox has also come out and said at GDC that players are gaming 20% more because of it. So here's a real question. Is this the secret weapon? Is Play Anywhere the secret weapon for Xbox? You combine it with Game Pass, and I think it absolutely is. No question. I also think that this has some implications for the handheld. I think that in a crowded space, in a very competitive space, which the Xbox handheld is going to be entering, I think this gives you a leg up. It's going to be interesting to see what Steam does, the Steam Deck does with it, the Steam operating system that comes out with it, but you've got Nintendo, you've got PlayStation jumping into the game on the handhelds as well. The gaming handheld space is going to be crowded. It's going to be competitive. I think this gives Xbox a leg up. I think having this data helps them to convince developers, hey, you need to make this Play Anywhere. It's going to be interesting. Does Xbox make it a requirement to develop on their platform on Game Pass to be Play Anywhere? I don't know what that entails. I don't know if how hard that is for developers to do or anything like that. But 20%. Playing 20% more on Play Anywhere titles is nothing to shake a stick at, and I think is absolutely huge. We're going to discuss that today. We're also going to review the new joystick that Xbox has announced. This is for the adaptability controller, which I just think is super cool that Xbox is doing that anyways. I think that that's one of the most positive things universally, whether you're a PlayStation guy, an Xbox guy, a PC guy, a Nintendo guy, doesn't matter. The adaptability controller is just cool, and well done, Xbox, on continuing to support that and bring gaming to those who otherwise would not be able to play. We've got the second half of March Game Pass games that are dropping that we're going to review, as well as go over a big Stalker 2 patch, like huge. So if you're into Stalker 2, or maybe you've been waiting because there were some issues at launch with it, and you're like, okay, I'll come back when it's a little less buggy, this may be the time to jump in for you because it's an absolutely ginormous patch. Before we jump into it, though, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time right here. We've got a Discord channel. We've got a newsletter. Like, subscribe, share us with your friends, and let's jump into it. This first news story is over at windowscentral.com. Xbox Play Anywhere makes games more popular than you could have imagined. The Xbox GDC News declares that Play Anywhere-enabled titles experience a 20% uptick in playtime over those without it. So there's literally no reason not to have it. Amen. This is written by Richard Devine. Amen, brother. I could not agree more with that. Windows Central has really been on the case, and they've been doing a good job of saying, hey, where is Play Anywhere? Why isn't this front and center? This is a huge deal. This is a huge benefit to gamers. And now we can see that it's also a huge benefit to developers here. 20% is a relatively big number. Think about that. You put 100 minutes in a game. You put 100 minutes in a game, you're getting 20 additional minutes if that game is Play Anywhere. And it makes sense because this is why I'm so stoked. This proves the point on the handheld in my opinion. It's why I'm so stoked about an Xbox gaming handheld, because when I am just locked to a desk and my gaming PC, or I am just locked to a console and my TV, I just can't game as much, especially as I get older, as I have kids, as I have more responsibility. I think people are busier than they've ever been. I think for the first time, you have a gaming generation who grew up playing video games and is now adults and just doesn't have the time they had as kids. Gaming used to be targeted primarily to teenagers and younger, I would say. And now you've got a wide range of people, and teenagers and younger still have that same time that they can play. But the people with disposable income, the real buyers and purchasers and movers and shakers to your ecosystem, are us adults who grew up on gaming and now have disposable income and can game. I'm not spending my disposable income on games that I know I'm not going to be able to play. That's just a reality. So Play Anywhere opens it up so that we can play more games than we've ever played before. Real quick, let's read the quote that Xbox came out with. Here's what they had to say. Quote, as announced last week, over 1,000 titles are now supporting Xbox Play Anywhere. When players purchase an Xbox Play Anywhere game, they can play on Xbox and Windows 10/11 PCs at no additional cost. Let me read that. At no additional cost, bringing their saves, progress, and achievements across the devices. Also, that's one thing. Achievements also cannot be understated. I will play a game on Xbox, even if it's superior to play on Steam, for instance, or PC, if it's not available on the Xbox side of, Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, just for the achievements. The achievements is a giant hook, right? It's this, hey, I have this legacy of Xbox game score achievements that I need to keep up with, that I need to continue to grow. So having achievements come across devices is absolutely huge too. They continue. This means players can access their favorite games in more places, which has led to these titles getting 20% more playtime. Again, 20%. That means if you spend 100 minutes in a game, a Play Anywhere game is getting that same player 120 minutes. And I think that when a handheld comes, that number goes up even more. I would be willing to bet that number gets close to 40%, 35, 40%. We don't know, but I would be willing to bet on a handheld that number goes up even more once you have that. Because I will play on my ballsy top-of-the-line console, but to squeeze in a few extra minutes in bed at night on the couch when I've got some free time, I'll pick up that handheld and I'll continue to play. That's just the reality. It molds gaming to my life instead of me having to mold my life to gaming. Xbox Play Anywhere, I think, gives, let's talk about it in reference to not Game Pass, but the gaming handheld, because it's going to be difficult for Xbox to break in. It just is. PlayStation tried it with the PSP, did not have success. They went head to head with Game Boy, and they had a better device as for when it came to graphics. When they had a cool factor too, when it came to the cool discs that you put in there, the way the device looked, it's a quality device. It holds up to this day, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't sustain it. Game Boy just dominated. Nintendo owns the handheld market, and now with the Switch, I think they own it even more. And so, why does Play Anywhere give Xbox? How does Play Anywhere give Xbox a heads up? Number one, you have got a unified gaming ecosystem. So Game Pass does that. Game Pass Ultimate, and you can see Xbox is moving in this direction. That's why they're no longer concerned about hardware. They're really pushing Game Pass. They're pushing the ecosystem part of this. This unified gaming ecosystem enables you to do what? It enables you to play on your console, start a game on your console. Then let's say you go to work and you've got lunchtime and you want a game at lunchtime. You can now play on your PC and pick up right where you left off. Then you go home, you put the kids to bed, you're exhausted, you're laying in bed, you've got 30 minutes, you've got 45 minutes, you pick up your Xbox handheld, and now you can play there. That unified gaming ecosystem is a huge selling point, I think. I think it helps you to expand Game Pass, and it's why the expansion of Xbox Play Anywhere is huge from that respect. I think it gives you enhanced portability of high quality titles like a Halo, for instance, like a Forza Motorsport, like a Forza Horizon, like an Indiana Jones, a Call of Duty. Remember, Call of Duty, this means that Call of Duty is Play Anywhere. Is Call of Duty going to be Play Anywhere across PlayStation devices? Is it going to be Play Anywhere across Steam devices? We don't know. But you know where we do know it's going to be Play Anywhere in the future? On Xbox. Via Game Pass, Xbox Portable. It's a huge selling point, I think. I think it will also influence future hardware development. The success and feedback of a handheld combined with Play Anywhere will likely inform Xbox's decision. It'll inform their feature considerations for subsequent devices, including their first-party handhelds. Absolutely, and I think it gives them 100%. Play Anywhere gives them this competitive positioning. I think they can go out to developers and say, hey, we have this data. You don't want to make it Play Anywhere. Let us help you. Let us show you how, and let us show you why it benefits you in your game, particularly if you're a game that sells skins. 20% more playtime means 20% more opportunity to sell something to a player. I think it's just huge. I think it's a big number, and I think it has major implications for Xbox's competitiveness in the handheld space in particularly. I would love to know what you guys think on that topic, though. Have you utilized Play Anywhere? 1,000 titles is big. And it's only, I think they're going to set a date and say, like, from here forward, we know all their first party titles will have that. But from here forward, all titles on Game Pass will have that. I think it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I think the difficult part is probably going to be doing it for older titles, but over time that comes. I mean, we're already up to 1,000. Absolutely huge. What a benefit. Benefits consumer. You can see here is an example, and this is where people get stuck. They think that if you're doing something that benefits the corporation, it's not going to benefit the consumer. No, you benefit the corporation or you benefit the business. A business does better by serving people the best way that it can. That's Play Anywhere. That's why Play Anywhere is so popular. You're getting 20% more playtime for developers. And as a consumer, you are enabling me with freedom, essentially. Freedom to play wherever I want, whenever I want, however I want. Let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think. Let's jump into the next story. This is the adaptive joystick is now available, designed for players with limited mobility. This is over at The Verge. The joystick can now be purchased through Microsoft's online store. You can see here it is a standalone. Now, it's not wireless. It is cabled, so you do have to run it with the cable. Here's an example of someone who may utilize it and play with it. I just think it's awesome. You can upgrade it with your own 3D printed accessories. You can make it easier to access, easier to play. The adaptive controller just has so many options. I think it's cool. I think well done Xbox, well done Microsoft for really, I view them as industry leaders in this space. We talk about them being industry leaders in the streaming space, in the cloud space, in the Game Pass space, in this new move and shift in gaming. I think they're industry leaders in the accessibility space, and I think they should be applauded. Well done. Love what they're doing here. Congratulations. Also, I think normal players can use these as well, and there's cool and unique ways to utilize them, so go check it out. But well done to Xbox and Microsoft. A new adaptive joystick now available. Let's discuss what the remaining Game Pass games that are coming for the second half of March are. There are a few. I thought there was a picture here. I guess here they are right here. I knew that there was a picture that you could go through. This is over at GameRant.com. We obviously have 33 Immortals, which dropped yesterday, which I have downloaded. I haven't had a chance to check out. I'm going to be checking it out today. Another one is Octopath Traveler 2. For those of you who have not played Octopath Traveler, fantastic. It's from Square Enix. It is an RPG classic style game, but it's absolutely beautiful. The artwork, the bokeh that they do, they really have this bokeh effect. In fact, you can see it in this image where the foreground images are blurred, the background images are blurred. You're really focused on this character. It adds this premium feel to a pixel RPG, if that makes sense. It's very good. Turn-based RPG, if that's your style. If you ever played the first Octopath Traveler 2 is available today, dropping. So that's huge. The bad news for me, I already purchased this game. That always happens. That happens. Everybody has that experience, right? Where they're like, oh, I picked it up on sale. I can't remember when I picked it up on sale, but I already purchased this and now it's available on Game Pass. Great. That's just great. No, very happy to support Square Enix in Octopath Traveler. I think it's a fantastic series and everybody should definitely check it out. Train Sim World 5 also drops today on Game Pass. I have never played Train Sim World. I know these are huge. I've watched some really cool streams of people who got really fancy setups and take this game serious. I would love to try it out. There was a Train World that I had downloaded. It was like a year or two ago that was also on Game Pass. This is not the first time a Train Sim World has been on Game Pass. And I downloaded it and then I just never got an opportunity. But any simulation series is absolutely huge. I think they're cool. I respect people who are super into them, and maybe I'll jump in and check this out this time. Trains are just cool. Like, remember, I had the person who babysat me when I was like 8, 9, and 10, their husband in their garage had one of the craziest, coolest train setups. Like, it was one of the pro ones where like there's model homes and there's train and like steam comes out of the train. And as a kid, it was so fascinating. So I totally get the appeal of Train Sim World 5. It is available today. Go check it out. A game that I don't know too much about, Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island, is available tomorrow. So that's 4 games in the last 2 days, or in a 3-day span that is coming. A game that I am super excited about is Blizzard Arcade Collection. That is the 3 Vikings, dude. That is, so you've got to use these 3 Vikings. This is one of Blizzard's older games. This was a game that when PCs were brand new, not brand new, but in the 90s, we had our first PC, my family did, and this was one of the games that I played all of the time. You've got a guy with a shield. You've got a guy that can ram things. He can run. The guy in the middle can run. And the other guy, the guy on the right has a shield. The guy in the middle can run. The guy on the right-hand side here, the big fat guy, he has a shield, and so you got to use them together to get through. It's a platformer. It's a really good game. Blizzard Arcade Collection. That's not the only game in there. There's a bunch of other old school Blizzard games in there. Available on March 25th. So what is that? 6 days from now. And then last but not least, a game that we've talked about a lot on this channel is Atom Fall. Atom Fall is British Fallout. That's the way, I think that's the best way. It's probably inaccurate, but that's the vibe that it gives off. It's British Fallout. Basically, there's this town in the UK that has some sort of nuclear fallout radiation that happens, and then it becomes a single-player survival game. All in all, the Game Pass for March has been pretty solid. It has been really solid. I mean, just look at these last 6 games that are dropping here. The second half of March, we've got some solid titles there. Again, I'll say it again. I'm very excited to jump into 33 Immortals. I would love to know if you guys have had a chance to jump into 33 Immortals. What game on the second half of March Game Pass are you going to be jumping into? Let me know in the comments below. For me, it's 33 Immortals. Atom Fall is probably the other one. And then if I have some time, I genuinely want to see what Train Sim World 5. I'm only laughing because I've tried to do it before and I just haven't. So Train Sim World 5. But let me know in the comments what is the top game for you for this second half of Game Pass games that is dropping. Last but not least, we've got this story over at purexbox.com. This is the Stalker update that has dropped. Stalker 2 update. It's 1.3. It brings over 1,200 fixes. That's right. 1,200 fixes to Xbox and PC. I'm going to scroll through. They announced this at GDC, Stalker did. I'm going to scroll through and check out how many. And remember, Pure Xbox said it's such a big update that we didn't even list all of we only hit on some of the main ones here. We're not listing them all. Watch this. Okay, ready? Here we go. Here begins the patch notes. Go down. Absolutely giant. We're not even halfway. We're like a quarter through these updates here. A lot of issues fixed. A lot of things polished here. A lot of things reworked. And remember, this is not even all of them. What is this? Objects and zone experience. See, so it just looks like this game, if maybe you've been sitting away or maybe you jumped in and you stopped playing because there's just some bugs here that I don't like. There's some things that happened wrong. The fix is probably here. This is a giant list. And Pure Xbox said, we're not even listing all of these. So Stalker 2 is one that I think for me, since I wasn't a big Stalker guy, I never played the first one. Everybody told me that I should. I have it downloaded, but it came out just at a wrong time. There were other games around the same time. I think Indiana Jones, Call of Duty, and it was kind of smashed in between there for me. Now, I did sit and watch my brother play through it. For quite a bit. And then I think I did jump in for like 30 minutes to check it out. For me, the controls, the issue when it first launched, I know it's been fixed since then. The controls were a little off in that when you moved, it felt floaty at first. And I remember that was a major issue. Sounds like it's all been fixed. It'll be interesting to see as this game is continually supported, what the consensus is around it. For the Stalker fans, does it hold up to the original Stalker? Is it better than it? How is it viewed going forward? Regardless, if you're a Stalker guy, if you wanted to check out this game, it may be the best time to do so. That's going to do us for today, everybody. Again, I would love to know what you guys think about Play Anywhere. Do you utilize Play Anywhere? Do you think you would get more game time? I would submit, again, that this is why I think the handheld is huge, because having a first-party Xbox handheld device, indeed, I think even with the third-party handheld device that is coming out here, we're going to see this increase. But I think a first-party handheld device takes that 20% increased playtime number, and I think bumps it up a good 15%. I bet you 35% Xbox can squeeze out of there, maybe even 40%. That's absolutely huge. If that's what's happening, that's huge for developers. That's huge for us as gamers. So it'll be interesting. It'll be cool. I'm in agreement with Windows Central that Play Anywhere is an underrated feature. It should be front and center on everything. It sounds like it may start to be. It's a huge benefit. I think it gives them an advantage in the handheld space. And it's super cool. That does us for today, everybody. Again, like, subscribe, follow us, socials, everywhere. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.